Hey, good evening, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. We have another episode of Let's Cook with Roquefert13. So I wanted to invite you all back for my second ever cooking stream. I do have a new microphone. It's my lavalier microphone here. So let me know if the sounds all right. Again, I'm still adjusting, but hopefully this should overall be a better experience. So I hope everybody had a wonderful turkey day. If you're like me, you're still probably stuffed. But I wanted to get this video in there to take advantage of the amount of leftovers that I think everybody's going to be having. Hey, Panda Templar, thanks for coming back. So today we're doing something different. We're not doing pastry chef, but something a little different for the people who want to cook at home, leftover turkey sandwiches. We're going to be doing a take on Colombian arepas. But we're going to be using the leftover turkeys and making a nice kind of mustard garlic sauce to be used. And we're going to stuff the arepas like a kind of like a pocket pita. Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I do have some of my ingredients out. I have my mixing bowl, and I will be using PAN. It's pretty readily available in the supermarket. This is usually in the ethnic food section. This stuff is great. Makes a great amount of cornmeal stuff. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing 1 part water, so 1 cup water. So let me get that here. So pour that in there. And then you're going to do, it's almost a cup of the cornmeal. So how does the sound there, Panda? Is the voice pretty good? I got a new microphone. So we're going to measure out about 3/4 of a cup of this. Could go a little more, or a little less. It's all kind of cooking. Did you have a good Thanksgiving, man? Were you guys super packed? I know you said you had a bunch of tables. So I'm also going to add a little salt to the water. So I have here kosher salt. I just use Morton's kosher salt. So I'm going to take a nice healthy pinch of that and just pour that in the water here. And then we're going to take the yeah, I bet, man. Thanksgiving's a busy day, and it sounds like you guys had a packed house. I'm glad you came to choose to come with me and unwind. It's appreciate you coming by. So I added the salt and get that little swirl to kind of mix it in. And now the cornmeal, we're just gonna gently add in, kind of spread it around. It'll kind of sit on top a little bit. But this is the fun part. So this is where you get our hands dirty. Now I did wash my hands previously. If you're going to use your hands, please wash them. They get pretty dirty. But so we're just going to get in there and just going to mix with our fingers. So the cornmeal, the way it works is it's initially going to feel pretty runny, but as you kind of mix it in, as you work on it, it's going to start to thicken up. The cornmeal is going to absorb that water. It's going to become like a nice kind of paste or a Play-Doh. If you find that it's not quite enough, you can always add a little bit more. So we're going to give that a good mix. Make sure we incorporate all the salt in there so everybody can see. So this part's kind of fun. It's relaxing. Like to mash it down, mix it around. I guess you could consider this a pastry, right? Oh, you guys are doing another session tomorrow? Or are you just doing a normal day tomorrow? Of course, Black Friday, I'm sure you guys will probably be pretty solid, right? Everybody got plans for Black Friday? I know, Pandas, you're probably working, right? As you can see, we're starting to get the dough formed up a little bit. Um, it's becoming workable. You can kind of mix it in your hands. Put it over this way. You can kind of hide it around, and it doesn't stick to your hands, you know. Yeah, I mean this is very similar. This is like a Colombian pizza dough. So the backstory: my wife is Colombian, and she taught me how to do arepas. Um, what I'm doing is an American version upon that, and um, I can go over the real traditional Colombian arepas whenever we get closer to doing the meat stuff. But so it's been about 3 to 5 minutes. You can see the dough's got formed into a nice ball, and it's easily workable and pick up, and you can separate it and put it back together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to warm up. I have a George Foreman grill. This little guy here, he's excellent. I use it for all sorts of things. I can't get outside and grill and stuff like that, so I use this thing to really, help me do some stuff inside. Developing gluten into the dough. Hey man, you got to develop those gluten strands. That's what makes the dough stick, right? So now that we have a ball, this is warming up. So we're going to take the dough here, move this aside, and I'm going to separate it into 2 equal portions. You can do more or less. Since it's only myself and my wife, I'm just going to do 2. And take half, and I'm going to flatten this out. You can just use your hands, work it together like that. So flatten out is about as thin as you want it, thin as you can get without breaking it too much. It's going to take up about the size of your hand. Hey, Andy. Hello from South River. Welcome to Florida. Oh, yeah, these things are great. I do filet mignon on these things. I do these arepas on there. So now you got it. You see about how thin it is, about how white it is. I have here some mozzarella cheese. This is probably one of my favorite cheeses, the Sargento mozzarella. So what you're going to do is you're going to get this nice and flat. You're going to take a good healthy amount of cheese, put it right there in the middle. Don't be shy about it. Make sure it fills up, and then you're just going to kind of fold in your fingers, kind of wrap the dough around the cheese, just like this. Don't worry about it too much. If some falls out the side, that's okay. You just kind of squeeze it all back together. So now you got a nice little cheese ball, and then I just kind of mash it all in, get the air pockets out of it. I may have put too much cheese in this one. And you're just going to roll it around. Sure it see all the edges, but I am not doing so well with it. If you make a mistake and it pops open, just seal it back together. Pre-shredded cheese. Hey man, I'm cooking like everybody else is cooking. I'm not going to shred a block of cheese. Wanting to eat dumplings? Yeah man, it could be good. So now that you have the ball, you're just going to re-flatten it back out again. I know, it's like, why did I make a ball? I'm just going to flatten this thing back out again. Well, the thing is there just to incorporate all the cheese in there, kind of spread it out a little bit. So this time you're not going to make it as flat. My hands are kind of drying out the dough a little bit. But that's okay. You have the technology to put it back together again. So make it nice and flat there. I got a little crack in there, but that's okay. It's all good. It'll still taste just the same. To the edges. Now you're going to pop open this little guy. Just going to place it right on the grill like that. Do some last minute touches. And we're going to do the other one here real quick, so that I can get them both cooking at the same time. Your hands do become a little bit dry. Put a little water on there. Help get it back in. Incorporate a little liquid. So I'm going to put a little more cheese in this one. Again, fold it on up. Fold it all together. Push it down. Make that little ball. Seal all the edges and squash it flat. Now you want to talk about relaxing panda. This is, you know, I could make these all day. So we're getting it nice and flat, nice and round. Doesn't have to be perfect shape. The imperfections, as Bob Ross, is part of life. What makes life beautiful. And we're just going to pop that guy right there and then close the lid here. Give it a nice press. That's going to cook. So let me wash my hands real quick. Alrighty. So now that's going to be cooking. Hey Zero, thanks for the host, man. I appreciate it. Hope you guys are having a good Thanksgiving. All right. So now we're gonna make our prepare our sauce. Now for my sauce, I'm going to use a green onion. Oh, cool, man. Hello to Zero's family. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Thanks for the emote spam. Appreciate it. So we're going to take a green onion and we're going to just kind of chop off the end here. Throw that little nub away. And then we're just going to give it a little slice down the middle and then just kind of chop it up real fine. So there we go. In one of my later episodes, I'm going to do a little episode on knife skills. I've watched a couple cooking shows, and I've seen people, how they're holding their knives, and frankly, it scares me. They're holding their knives with their fingers like this, or just weird angles, and I just worry that they're going to lose their fingers, you know? So you really want to do the little pinching. Hey, Uncle Bob and Aunt Mary. I'm glad you guys have stopped by. Got the whole family in here. The beautiful technology. I cooked all morning and I can cook in the evening with you guys. So, get a nice mince these up. So give that a nice mix there. So get that together. Again, making sure to keep our hands away from the knife. Just give it a nice chop. It doesn't have to be perfect. And just slide that off there. Now let me get my pan. So, I have my pan here. Noah's watching. Oh, hey, Noah. So I am going to use some olive oil here. So I have some extra virgin olive oil. This is kind of going to be the base of our sauce. So I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of this. Kind of pour that in there. Set that aside. And we're just going to scoop onions in there. And we're going to slightly saute those on the stove here. But we're also going to add in 1 clove of garlic. Your girlfriend hacks vegetables? After losing a cutting board, but she just like smacks it like this. That's awful. Well, you got to teach her the ways of the knife. Let the action of the knife do the work. That's why it's curved. So I have one garlic clove. Um, it's still got the little outside wrapper on it, so I'm just going to give it a good smash. That kind of frees up the outside. Peel that off there. Like that. Throw that away. Okay. Cut off the little end here. Throw that guy away. And then we're going to do something a little different. Instead of slicing and chopping the garlic, I'm going to give it a good smash. Do it nice and flat. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the kosher salt. So a little of the salt, and I'm going to put it right on top of the garlic. And I'm going to use the side of the knife. Use the side of the knife and just kind of put it on top, press down really hard, kind of pull back. And what you're doing is you're grinding the salt into the garlic. You're going to be making a paste. Don't be afraid to try this. You're not going to hurt the garlic. You're using the salt. The salt is kind of cutting up the garlic as you're squeezing it, making a nice garlic paste. Like that. See? Just like that, you got a nice paste of garlic, and it's super easy. And I'm going to pop that right back in there. Sauce. Now we're going to put this on the stove real quick. We're just going to warm this up for a couple minutes. Let the oil and everything kind of seep into the onions and the garlic. Wash off my knife. Wipe off my cutting board here. There we go. It's always good to keep your stuff clean. So use our spoon. Hopefully in the future I can get a third camera and I can actually put it over the stove so you guys can see what I'm doing over here. But for now we're just going to use our power of imagination that I'm sauteing. Gonna let that warm up. Let's check on our arepas, right? Look at that. Don't those look great? So we're gonna give those a little press just to see. They still, you can kind of see them. They shift a little bit. See that? So they still need a little bit longer, but the outside is looking beautiful, nice golden brown. So we're just gonna give that a little bit longer. If you want, we can kind of loosen them up and rotate them a little bit. Like that. Close that back down. I'm imagining a good season with beautiful Maillard direction in your pan. Yeah, for this one, you don't want to go full caramelization of the onions. You just want to get to the aroma. So we're just kind of warming it up. And with the olive oil, the extra virgin will tend to burn if you get it too hot. So you just want to keep it nice and warm. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using some leftover turkey. So I have some turkey from my bird I crafted today. I'm just going to pull out a couple chunks of this. I got the white meat here. Got some dark meat. Nice little mixtures here. You good? Close that up. Put him back in the refrigerator. And we're just going to shred it up. So to shred it up, we're going to take a fork. So I'm just going to use the back of a fork here. Just kind of give it a good pull. And you can also use your fingers. So this is the part where this recipe differs from the Colombian traditional recipe. Well, in a traditional recipe, you usually use like a flank steak. We cooked one the other night in a pot, in a crock pot. Just set it on for about 4 hours on high with some tomato, some garlic, and green onion, and then just let that cook. And then we had some Goya seasoning, just to give that nice Latin flavor. And then we just let that cook for 4 hours. And then once it cooked and became tender, just like we're doing here, we just pulled it out and we shredded it. So, yeah, nice chunks of turkey, all shredded up. You have some skin in there. You can keep that, or you can toss that away. I'm gonna toss that guy away because he may be a little too tough. Yeah. So you can hear the sizzle of the onions here. So show that on camera real quick. So see how that's nice and mixing. And we just kind of swirled around, and the smell. I can't wait till they invent the 4D camera where the smell actually comes through the camera. Then you guys are in trouble. Definitely in trouble. All right. So the arepas are doing well. So I can go ahead and turn this off. All right, Panda, I appreciate you stopping in. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to get out a little rack here. So we kind of want these to cool a little bit. So I can get them a little wire rack. Put it up here next to the camera. We're going to pull these off the stove, and we're just going to set them on this to cool a little bit. Because again, we're going to be using these like sandwiches, and if they're still super hot, it's going to be a little tough for us to handle. Set that aside. Now that the onions and garlic is nicely marinated together, what's up, Ninja? Hey, thanks for the host, man. So we're making leftover turkey sandwiches a la Colombia. So doing some arepas. Got some stuff going on. So now that we have the onions and garlic cooking in the oil, I'm going to take some red wine vinegar and some Dijon mustard. And this is going to be the base of our sauce. So it's going to be 3 tablespoons of mustard, red wine vinegar, and then 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. So what it's going to do is it's going to make a nice mustard sauce for us. While it's still cooking, we're going to turn it to medium heat. So just pour this in here. I found this sauce works really well. Very versatile. You can use it over spinach, over some mustard greens. If you want to make a nice salad, it makes a great salad dressing. Nice hot mustard salad dressing. And I'm thinking it goes really well with turkey. So we're going to find out. We're going full on ratatouille up in here and just thinking about these different flavors. And yeah, I think that'll work. I obviously need to shake my mustard a little bit more. Mustard separated a little bit. A little workout. All right. Come on, there you go. So again, get a nice tablespoon of mustard. Gonna pop that in there also. Aside. Give this a good swirl. So take it off heat a little bit. Sort of kind of mix it in. Hey, Firefight, thanks for the bits, man. Appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. So we're mixing this in with oil. It's going to make this nice sauce here. It's a nice mustardy, vinegary sauce. It's going to taste really good with this turkey. So look at that. Nice and swirled in. Now we're going to take our leftover turkey that we had. We're just going to add it to the sauce here. This will help us cook it all. We're gonna rewarm this back up on the stove. Just kind of mix that all over. Let that warm up. And while that's warming up, I did open a nice Louis Jadot Chardonnay today. 25, yay. Awesome, man. And I'm gonna pour myself a nice little glass here. The Chardonnay goes really well with the turkey. The nice butteriness of it. You can't have a cooking stream without enjoying a nice glass of wine. That is good. Cheers. So we're gonna check out our turkey a little bit more. And at this point, you could add a little arugula, a little spinach, and see how this nice coating everything. It's got a beautiful smell to it. So let's try a piece and see if it's warm enough. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Beautiful flavor. Again, let me wipe off my cutting board. Did you guys have a great Thanksgiving? Ninja and Firefight? So we'll clean up our cutting board. Now we're going to take our arepas. See how these turned out. Look at these. Isn't these nice? No, I've already had family over. We did a kind of a lunch Thanksgiving. So this is kind of the what to do afterwards, the leftovers. So we're doing, instead of like a turkey and a bread, cold sandwich, I'm making these arepas, which is a nice Colombian corn cake with some cheese in it, and we're gonna open them up kind of like a pita, and we're gonna stuff it with that wonderful turkey we just did. Minus the arepas, but hey, you can impress it with those arepas that we just watched. So, seeing the arepa, they're no longer circular, they're off center. So I tend to look for the long side. That's going to be like my midsection. So you're going to go to the top very carefully. You're going to stick the knife in, kind of cut a nice little pocket in the arepa. It's still going to be hot, so be careful. You're just separating the arepa there. And get down in the middle so you can get a nice little pocket. See the cheese and everything. Delicious. So we'll do that one, set that one aside. And we'll do the second one. Again, trying to find the right angle. And stick the knife in there, being very careful. That's why I like to use this paring knife. It's not long enough to really stab my hand. Hand and arepas is not very good. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Classic Ninja. That was the first part of the video. And don't be afraid if you missed the first part of the video. We're going to be posting it on YouTube, and you also can watch the video at the end of this session. So again, we got a nice open up. So those are our pockets. We're going to take out our little plates here. Let's grab a plate here. I don't have the link. If you look in my About section, it should be down near the bottom of the YouTube link. I have yesterday's video. I need to add some quick commands for my stuff. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. So now we got our nice turkey. It's got a beautiful smell, flavor. Just going to take one of these pockets here. Yeah, I appreciate it. So and just take it, kind of shove it right in there. And this is where if you had some extra cheese or you had some extra um, arugula or some lettuce or some spinach, you could do that. I'm just going to add a little extra cheese. Just add that back in there. Like this. Don't want to overload it too much. Just like that. Put one down there. Get the second one. Oops. This one may have opened a little too far. That's okay. What do we have hands for? I got a little overzealous with the cutting there. But it should still form out pretty well. Gonna add a little extra cheese to this one also. There you go. I love how minute differences can make a big difference in taste. Oh yeah, man, it's you know, the corn with the turkey with the mustard and the vinegar really adds a nice flavor to it. And so look at there, we got these beautiful corn arepas sandwiches, just like that. This recipe made 2 of them. Again, it's just myself and my wife, so you know it turned out great, beautiful stuff. So let's see. But now the real test comes, right? This is the taste test. Last stream I had 2 people that were friends who lived by come over and eat my pie. I don't think they're going to come over and eat my turkey. So if you add a little green, you add a little the arugula stuff, and just like that, you have turkey sandwiches. And this was only about 30 minutes, you know, from start to finish, from scratch. You know, it didn't take very long. And it turned out great. Let's give it a shot here. A little, you know, cheers, bon appetit. Yep. That's turkey. The vinegar with the mustard adds a nice acidity to it, and then the cheese and the corn gives a nice texture to it that the white bread or whatever bread for a normal sandwich wouldn't do. But yeah, these things turn out great. And we used our little George Foreman grill. It didn't take very long. I did everything on stream, and 30 minutes. Here we are, start to finish eating. I'm from Florida. Yeah, southeast. That's good. It is dripping a little bit at the bottom. But all sandwiches is a little messy, you know. So, once again, we did the corn cakes with the pan from the ethnic food area. Just cornmeal. I used the white cornmeal. You can use the yellow. Works just as fine. And then we did that with 1 part water and 1 part the pan. Mixed it all together, made a dough, filled it with cheese. Used our George Foreman grill here to cook it. And then while we did that, we made our mustard sauce. We did the 1 clove of garlic, 1 green onion. Mix that with a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Let that simmer. 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Add in your turkey and just combine. And it's just that simple. So that's about it for tonight's stream. It's short and simple. I just wanted to show you guys a different alternative. Also, these arepas, you can make the arepas and fill it with whatever you want. So if you have some leftover beef, you want to make some in a crock pot, spread it, throw that in there. These things are very versatile. So you'd probably be seeing me make these again on different streams. They're just black bean arepas. Yeah, you can do that. Coat them inside. man, everything. Everything that you thought, man, this would be really good wrapped in a corn tortilla or like a corn cake, you know, arepas. So most awesome versatile food. And we often eat them for breakfast, just the arepa with the cheese. So you'll make it, don't do the whole cutting part. You just stuff it, overstuff it with the cheese, grill it up, serve it. It's like a pancake from heaven. You know, you don't have to put any sauce on it, just a little, maybe a little extra salt. Maybe coat the outside with butter after you're done, and it is beautiful. So I do appreciate everybody stopped in. I'll be doing another series on Saturday. I think Saturday I may start my my cooking basics classes. So we'll be going over some knife skills, some basic cuts, and kind of doing my learn to cook session. So I really appreciate everybody to stop by, and I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. And then you know, cheers from Florida, and happy Thanksgiving to you guys and your family. Have a good night.